Hi everybody, this is Liz with 143 Handmade. Today is the last week of the Spring Clusters collaboration. Today's prompt, it's hosted by Sherry with Turquoise Dreaming and Susan I have my paper right here, Susan Hiles Art, and the links will be below in the description box below. But today's prompt was geometric. I wasn't sure what that would translate to. I hadn't really given geometrics a thought when it came to my art in a long time. So, I watched their prompts, obviously, and then I dug through my stuff and looked up geometric, and I found it's essentially a repeating pattern of a specific shape is what I took that to mean. So I felt that all of this pretty much qualified. Obviously not the white paper, but you know, gotta have a little white pop. I had laid out a couple to get started. They're not actually attached or anything. So let's go ahead and get going. We'll see how many of these we make in the next little bit. Let's see, there's my glue. Let's see. Let's go ahead and glue this guy together. As you watch my channel, you'll learn that I way over glue. I just do. I like to make sure my things are very secure. So sometimes I overglue, and sometimes it causes me issues. I gotta go back and like touch things up and whatnot, but worth it. Worth it, I think. Oh, let's get rid of that fuzzy. So, yeah, like that. This is Fabrifix glue. It works really, really well to adhere most things. What I like about it, as opposed to a white glue, is that it doesn't warple the paper, and you can use it to attach little embellishments like this. I actually did bring my needle and thread over. I don't know why I just glued that. It's funny. I'm going to spin it so that way we've got, you know, the straight, the angle, straight, angle. I'm going to make the angles match. Excuse me if my voice sounds a little weird today. I'm having a really bad allergy day. Taking lots of allergy meds. It's still bad. So, there's one. Here's another that's pretty much black and white. I really like this one, actually. When I was just kind of playing around, waiting for the allergy meds to kick in so I could record a video and not sneeze all over you guys. So, I was just kind of playing with my papers a little. Laid a few things out to get us started. I thought this would be really cute where it's, you know, you got the white, because I don't know about you guys, but most of my journals are coffee stained or tea stained. You know, the pages are darkened in some manner. So having the white as the base will allow the piece to pop off of that, you know, that coffee, that lovely brown vintagey color, or off of a book page or something like that. And I just thought this was a cute little something to top it off with. Could add a little cute little title or saying or something on here. So here we go. And then let's see, I have these polka dot bits, and I have some zigzaggy bits and big polka dots, little polka dots. Let's start with another piece of white paper. Let's see. If we go that, and maybe that. Yeah, I like that. That's cute. These are kind of big. The backs of them will be blank, so I guess they could become journal cards, but these are, I do intend to use them as clusters. It's just page embellishments. Pretty much every journal that I end up making, there ends up being a page where I overlooked some text or something. So in the end, I end up having to go back and cover stuff up, you know. And since I've just recently started selling them, I really wasn't that concerned with that before, but I will be, you know, get much better about it as we progress here. But at first, when I first started making books a couple years ago, I did not consider selling them. I didn't think that anyone would want to buy a journal that I made. You know, I just never considered that. And then I started watching more and more videos, because I actually made my first junk journal without ever having seen a junk journal video. I had watched some book binding videos and got really inspired and created my own. I am back. I hope I can edit that out well. My fuzzy just jumped on the table. But anyways, I never really, I mean, I liked the idea of scrapbooking, and I did create some scrapbooks, but I just wasn't, it seemed too organized for me. I wanted, I think in a very chaotic way, and so my art tends to be a little chaotic. And so I just felt that I created some books to commemorate my grandmother, and, you know, your typical, you know, like family history albums, like what you would make a scrapbook for. I did that with some of her stuff, and I've created junk journals. But at the time, like I said, I didn't have any idea that that's what that was called. You know, that it had a name, that it was anything different than just a, you know, a scrapbook, you know, just a messy scrapbook. And so at first, when I was making videos, it was just, or not videos, I'm sorry, when I was first making books, the junk journals, my first junk journals, I'm sorry, I took a lot of allergy meds today, so I'm a little scatterbrained, but we'll get there. We'll have fun. We'll get there. And so my first few were, you know, interesting. Let's just say it that way. They were interesting, you know. To some of them, I've since had to take apart because, you know, I was learning. And salvage the stuff. One of the things I really like about using a brad, punching a hole like that and using a brad, is that it still allows that movement. You can shuffle this stuff around, spin it. And so however you end up needing it to lay when you actually go to use it will determine, you know, you can adjust that. Let's see, I have some more of those little tiny journaling bits. Let's see, ooh, this one has a geometric design on it. Let's see, I have 2 of those. So we'll go ahead and pull them out. I don't know that I'll use both, but they are cute little title cards, you know. They came out of a little, I think it was a 4x6 paper pad, but I have, you know, I tore it up. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with that page. That's the page that comes with all the stuff. Let's see. What if we go that? Let's see. I took a seam ripper to the edge of some of this fabric. If you really like the distressed look, you need to get yourself a seam ripper. And that way you can fray out the edges of fabric that don't fray. What I mean by they don't fray is, you know, is that, you know, when you pull on it, it doesn't do anything. And so I usually just nip off the corners completely when I do this. So I'm developing my Etsy store right now. It depends on when you see this video, but at the time of the filming, I'm developing my Etsy store. I have a handful of things in there, but it's over the next couple of weeks I will be stocking it with the journals I've been making for the last year or so in preparation for starting my YouTube channel and Etsy store and all of that. I haven't done a lot publicly for the last year, but I have been doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and getting ready to get going and get situated and really figure out what I wanted to do, because I love to craft. And I knit and I sew and I crochet and I paint and do some wood carving. So it was really kind of tricky for me to nail it down and decide which avenue of craft business I wanted to pursue, you know. Because what was really difficult is that I love to do them all equally. Really, I'm just a very I like to experiment with lots of different mediums. I don't really like get hung up on saying, oh, well, I'm a painter, you know. My daughter likes to, I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot. That's that allergy brain. But my daughter likes to say that I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to crafting, because she's never seen me not be able to do a craft that I decided I was going to do. And, well, it's a great compliment. I have, in fact, failed at certain things, but, or at least maybe not failed, but couldn't market those skills. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's great and, you know, good enough skill-wise to, you know, for the daughter to appreciate and all that and make gifts, but not necessarily good enough to market. But look at how lovely that shredded out. You know, and you can keep going and, you know, get more of that frayed bit. So I'm going to dump this off here into my trash can. Off to the side. Oh, still dusty. There we go. So, after I decided to pursue something paper crafting, I decided that paper crafting was narrow but broad enough, you know, because I get bored. I think I might have a little ADD or ADHD or whatever, you know, but paper crafting is so open and yet confined, if that makes sense, that it's a marketable something, you know. It's something that you can actually do, which obviously I needed. And so that's how I came to deciding on paper crafting. The very first book that I ever wrote and made was, I was in like 2nd grade, I believe, and my daughter actually has it in her room. She's 20 something and still living at home, going to college, which is awesome. But she has it as part of her library in her room, that book that I handmade in school. And it's about a pony and a cat who made friends. And she has a pony and she has cats, and so she absolutely fell in love with that story when she was little. Yeah, and this one, I'm going to go ahead and staple it and add that other texture. These tiny staples. Yeah, around this edge. I think that'll look really cool. Kind of frame it in. And then get rid of some of this extra. You know, I probably should have cut it shorter before I attached it, but you know. We make clusters as we go. So, let's see. Let's do just a polka dots. Just polka dots. Polka dots. Polka dot. Polka dot. Let's see. Frayed edge polka dot. Do we want frayed edge polka dot? Or solid edge polka dot? Decisions, right? Well, let's see, I think if we cut this down just past this one circle, it looks a little more geometric-y, I guess. At least to my brain, you know, but it's a little bit, it's the black dots are coming through. I hope you guys can see that on the camera. So what I'm going to do is use my Fabrifix, scooch that out of the way, and put a thin layer of my Fabrifix, and I'm going to go ahead and spooge it out so that way it's not likely to bleed through because it's obviously thin fabric. I'd rather have too much than too little. And then we just pop that on there. And probably it would be better for my scissors to wait for the glue to dry, but you know, we're in a hurry, right? Film is, well, not film, but you know, the camera's rolling, so to speak. You know, there's no film, it's all digital, phone and all, but still. See how, yeah, that looks way better to me, and that will keep it from fraying. It will make it keep its shape. But see, I actually think I like the idea of, yeah, I have a skinnier strip already done. Yeah, I like that idea, like that, and then this one here. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so let's just tack that together. You know, it's a cluster. We don't need to, you know, like cement it all together or anything. Let's see, I want that to stick up some. Let me see. Yep. So I put my glue up too high, so I'm going to just start it low and slide it up. And that should wipe most of the glue off. This Fabrifix is pretty forgiving as long as you work quickly. You know, and I can always do this. And poof, like it never happened. And then yep, we'll need to do part of this one because it's going to hang off. So there we go. So I would love to hear from you guys. What's your junk journal journey? How did you come to creating junk journals? Have you always, you know, played with books, writing books, creating books, that sort of thing? Or did you come to it later? What brought you here? Because we all have our own story. I love to hear people's stories. Before COVID, I was that person that, you know, in waiting rooms and stuff, everybody would talk to. I talk to anybody, chat up for a few minutes. That looks very geometric to me. I hope that Susan and Cherie like it. Let's see, do we want to do another polka dot one? Let's do that. Get off of me. A little stringy from the glue. Yeah, what if we cut this down so it's just a small circle? And just put the circle in the center. And then punch it. And put a brad in it. Yeah, because none of these, you know, are quite the right color. I thought they would be good for a pop of color on one of the black and white ones, because as you can see, most of the geometric stuff I found was black and white in my stash at this point. Just line that up, punch it. This crocodile, the first one, I have both crocodiles, one the handheld one and the big one. They both do good. Mine's a little bit on the old side. A lot of this equipment I have actually as inheritance from my mother. She was an avid scrapbooker. She had all kinds of equipment. And so I have a bunch, I have, you know, her stuff. And she passed away in 2015. So, you know, it's been a minute. And still haven't worked through half of what I kept. So she's a bit of a hoarder too. So, but she did make stuff. And she made money making stuff. So it wasn't just hoarding. She, you know, it was an interesting blend actually. But you know, she never had like one of those houses that you'd see on like Hoarders or anything. But you know, her house was clean, but there was just always so much stuff. But yeah, I really like that one. And let me see, let me check our time. I need to get a clock in here where I can see it. Okay, we still have plenty of time. Let's get going. I'm making good time tonight. Let's see, there's some of this blue. I pre-frayed it. Frayed it out just by pulling on a few strings at a time. That way I can throw them away. Or just the ripping does that. I really like the way that ripped fabric looks. So most of this fabric is salvaged from either my mother's things or my husband's grandmother. We live on 40 acres. It's been in his family. We're the third generation to live here. And when his grandmother passed, we helped to clean out the home. And I took a bunch of her clothes, and converted them into quilts. And I still have a bunch of the pieces left and trying to figure out how to use them. Let's see, do we want the squares on the dots? Yeah, let's just put that together. Don't overthink it, it's clusters. Just put it together. Just put it down. This is all scrap anyways. This is stuff that didn't have a home. Didn't have a purpose in life, but now it does. Okay, hopefully this little bit of bleed through, this is what I was talking about with the Fabrifix. There's a little bit of bleed through right there. A lot of times that will just dissipate and just like disappear from the eye once it dries. You just won't even notice it. So we'll set it aside and hope that that's what happens. If not, I will cover it up in some way at some point. So let's see, let's go, let's start with this just white to give us that pop. And we've got polka dots. Let's see, let's make this one. No, here I have a raggedy one already. No, I don't like that. I like the dots better. The dots on the dots. Let's see, should we make it raggedy? I'll leave it flat. Flat has an appeal too, you know, it doesn't bulk out your journal as much. This is fairly thick fabric, so yeah, let's go ahead and just do that one this way. A little bit of glue. Stick it down. Don't think about it too much. It's just paper. Well, just scraps anyways. It's a little bit of fabric, but so, but okay, so, you know, I made books, you know, I've made books and stuff off and on for years, but how I came to junk journaling is that it's one of those things that you can make over and over and over again, but not ever make the exact same thing twice. And that really, really appealed to me because I don't really care to make the same thing over and over and over again. I like each thing I make to be a one of a kind, an original, something that's unique. Like that. And as far as making these goes, you can do this in so many different ways. There's like I don't think there's a wrong way to make a cluster. So just grab your stuff and start gluing stuff together. You know, let your inner kindergartner have some time. Have some playtime. You know, so they don't throw a fit. Nobody wants to see a kindergartner sad, right? Gotta let them go out and play. Well, you know, I think all of us have those childlike instincts, you know, whether it's kindergartner or whatever, you know, the age of life of childhood that you enjoyed, that needs to be let out every now and then. I tease my husband all the time, telling him he's 12. You know, he acts like a 12-year-old, but in a very affectionate way. because it's just that he's just so relaxed, and he can be silly and you know, like a confident 12-year-old. So no, I don't like that. It's too dark. It's not enough contrast. Let's see. That's okay. I don't know, I'm just not loving this pattern. I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling it. Let's see. What if we were to take some of this yellow and I was to grab my paddle brush, not that one, this one, and my brown ink. This is a very old ink. You cannot get this anymore. You can get Close to My Heart inks, and this is the chocolate, but you cannot get this particular stamp pad anymore. This is the old design. But as I said, I inherited a lot of these craft supplies from my mother, and I am happy to use them. Let's grab this. No, not that file folder. So you gotta have a scrap paper around here somewhere, right? Find something. There we go. This can only be, no, don't want to use that. Let's see, I'm just trying to find something to put under it before I ink, so that way I'm not just inking all over my desk, you know? Let's see. Gotta have something. Ah, here we go. Okay, this is a bit of scrap paper. Scrapbooking paper. But yeah, if we just come over this yellow, gotta re-ink it. I already, you know, this ink, it's not like the Tim Holtz ink where it stays super moist. It's like I said, quite old, and so I probably need to moisten it, you know, do the whole glycerin and water deal. That would help it. I've sprayed it with water several times, but, and as you can see from that, it is in fact adding quite a bit. Let's see, let's grab another little piece here. Yeah, see, that changed it significantly. That knocked that yellow down. Yeah, see, I like that a lot better. And it also ages it quite a bit, so, yeah. So it's not so bright. I really like these paddle bits for inking, or bits, excuse me, paddle brush for inking as opposed to the daubers. I prefer the texture it leaves, the look it leaves behind it. I really like it. Well, let's see, we've got dots, lines, go dots again. There's my little ruler. There's a little ruler. Right there. I much prefer to tear paper than cut it. You'll learn if you watch for more than 2 seconds. But I do switch back and forth at seemingly random intervals. Okay, so we've got dots, lines, dots. Let's go with some more lines. Let's see, this one's the right shape, or should we go with more yellow lines? Let's see, what color? Put that on top. So kind of. Yeah, I like that. I think. Or do I like this better? I think I like that better, actually. So that's what we're gonna do. I like using buttons, but I like to know where they're gonna go in the journal before I anchor them, so that way I know they land in the right spot. So these are kind of just, I'm trying to keep them kind of flat, so that way I can add them wherever. You know. I'm sorry, like I said, I have allergy brain, so I'm saying quite a bit. This is, you know, I only have, I think this is like my 20th video, if that, something like that, out at this point, so bear with me. I will get better. Not say so much, find my voice and all of that. Just gotta gotta get going, gotta get to it to find my voice, to find whatever, how I'm gonna make this work. You know, you look at pretty much anybody's channel and you go back to their first videos versus their later videos, and there's usually quite a bit of difference. So trying real hard not to overthink things at this point and just trust that, you know, it will get better as I get going. So let's see, let's check in, see how many I've got thrown over here that are finished. Let's move my glue out of the way, push these unfinished bits out of the way. Let's go. There we go. Now we've got some room on camera. We've got that one, and that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's actually great for, you know, I don't know, roughly half an hour, maybe not quite. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end there for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and getting to know me. I can't wait to get to know all of you. You know, the 7 of you I have at the moment. And I hope to gain more. Thank you very much to Sherry and Susan for having this open collab. You've literally doubled my subscriptions at this point with this collab, so I greatly appreciate it. Or subscribers, not subscriptions. I apologize. So there we go. Thank you, thank you. If you want to find me elsewhere, all my links will be below. Sherry and Susan's links will be below. So thank you so much, guys. I had a blast doing this collab. I will be watching your channels, looking for other open collabs that interest me. I just might be joining Tag Tuesdays. So thank you very much.